What up, nerds, and welcome to another cagey episode of Straight Chilling, the weekly horror movie review show where you chill and we kill, slice, dice, and chop up yet another horror movie. My name is Bob. I'll be your host for the evening. This is episode 485, recorded Monday, July 15th, 2024. Tonight we're talking about a new release, Longlegs. Before we get into it, let me introduce everyone else on the show. First up, calling in from Washington, D.C., we got your boy, Randeezy.
Hail Satan! Hail Satan! Tonight!
Hey, what's up, buddy? Good to hear from you. Good to see you. You excited to do a little hailing tonight?
Hail Satan! That's a tasty little jam right there.
Hail Satan! It is tasty. It's extraordinarily tasty.
Played
it's a little song called "The Best Ever Death Metal Band Out of Denton."
Yeah,
from the Mountain Goats. It's a great song.
We have full permission to use their full catalog on the show, by the way. So we'll keep.
I don't think JD will have any problem with it, and God bless him.
Well, hail JD.
Well, Satan bless him. I don't know. What are we doing here?
Satan curse him. Last but not least, calling in from Seoul, South Korea, we got your boy Soju. What's up, man?
Oh, what up? It's your brother in Christ, Pastor Staines. Man says how time, boys.
Oh,
Mama
is that
used to
French
say.
you're speaking?
Oh, yeah, French. Oui, oui.
Je suis
Man says how time.
Ho ho! Consomme-da. That's not even French sounding.
Onion, I'll say.
Uh-huh.
A little bit of hillbilly in there.
Onion, I'll say yo.
Oh, fuck. That was like a dash of Baltimore in there, Randy? Was I
It's a lot.
picking up?
I'm going.
It's a lot of things
If
happening.
I shoot wide. That is always the case with accents.
Dirty.
Damn.
I got a wide spray, is what I'm saying.
God. Well, I don't think anyone was saying that.
It
I'm not sure
covers
what
everything.
Oh my God. Oh,
It's everywhere.
Christianity.
Hail Satan. Boys, I'm looking forward to this conversation. Before we talk about Longlegs, though, we got quite a bit of housekeeping to get through. So let's do it. Our August poll is still posted over on our Patreon website. If you guys support us at the $5 level or above, if you get the chance to vote on a movie we're talking about this August. Theme for August is Guillermo del Toro. We got 3 of his films up there for you to vote on. They are The Devil's Backbone, Pan's Labyrinth, and Crimson Peak.
Whoa, Bob. How's numbers looking in the middle of July?
Middle of July.
I just looked at the date for the first time in like 10 days, apparently. I realized it's the 16th.
What year is it?
Juice is living in a hyperbolic time chamber.
The numbers: Pan's Labyrinth on top, 57% of the vote. Second place is Crimson Peak, 23% of the vote. Last place, Devil's Backbone, 20% of the vote.
All right, there you go.
Keeping it competitive, I gotta say.
Mm-hmm.
Backbone has the lowest profile, I think, generally speaking, so it makes sense it's in the back. But it's not
far off.
It's no slouch.
Yeah.
Yeah, his whole catalog is mostly celebrated. With it. Maybe Mimic isn't quite a banger, but like
I don't think I've seen that one.
I
don't think I have either.
It's his first American stateside production, and like it was studio fuckery abound, so it like didn't come together the way he wanted it to, but it's still got some stuff going for it. More Patreon news. We are still dropping minicasts every other Friday. We got a brand new minicast dropping this Friday. We were going to put Sting out, but your boy Soju over here decided to record a very juicy, succulent minicast on a movie coming out this Friday called Oddity. So we're going to bump Sting and drop Oddity this Friday.
You'll bump Sting.
God damn.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still anticipate that coming out.
Yeah, it's still coming out.
Sure.
Oddity is getting a wide release this Friday. Definitely check it out. I haven't seen like a ton of press on it, but we were able to catch it at some film festivals earlier this year, and it's worth watching for sure.
I definitely think it's worth watching. Yeah.
It's definitely succulent.
A succulent Chinese meal.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
We got a Sting coming out 2 weeks after that, so yeah, keep your eyes peeled over on our Patreon website for all that bonus content. In other Patreon
for
news, we got a brand new Patreon supporter we got to give shouts outs to.
Thank God.
A big, gigantic thank you to the Humidifier, for signing up on Patreon and showing us some love. And that is WHO Midifier, the Humidifier, the one and only.
Love it.
Big thanks. Every dollar you guys contribute goes right back into the show. And as is tradition around here, we owe you the straight chilling salute. This goes out to the Humidifier.
Slap me in the ass.
God bless you, Humidifier. Satan curse you. All the whole gamut.
Damn. Thanks for slapping me in the ass, my guy. My humidifier.
My humidifier.
My thing.
Yeah.
What?
Sure.
Well, humidifier is
an object.
It's an item.
Thing.
My inanimate object. Hell yeah.
My thing.
What else we got?
See my ding dong.
Damn.
No,
All right.
Not really. We got, speaking of oddity, actually, we also have an interview recorded with the director, Damian McCarthy. That's also going to be dropping on Friday the 19th. That's going to be in our main feed, though, not a Patreon exclusive.
Whoa.
Juice, you had the opportunity to speak with him when you were at BFON, which is super cool.
Yeah, I did. And he's a really cool guy. He's really chill. And I was really excited to talk with him because it was sometime, I think, last year. I think I talked about it in What You've Been Watching. My brother had recommended me his first film, which is on Shudder right now. So before Oddity comes out, I would recommend people, check that out. I think it's a solid kind of like hidden gem, I guess. I don't think a lot of people really know about it or talk about it, but it's called Caveat. And it's on Shudder. So Oddity is his second film. So yeah, I got a chance to talk with him mostly about Oddity, but other things like personal spooky experiences of his and like his motivation for working in the horror genre and how he kind of got started in it and stuff like that. So yeah, he gave a great interview, really, really cool, chill guy, and was excited to talk about this awesome movie that he's got coming out.
It's plumb off.
Hell yeah.
It's plumb awesome.
Plumb awesome. I'm stoked to watch Oddity again, honestly. I really enjoyed that.
Me too, man.
So
I've seen it 2 times at this point this year, and I would probably watch it again before the end of the year.
Yeah.
I think it's a great, if we're going seasonal, I would go, I would put it in the Halloween season for sure. And I'd be excited to watch it when I'm not dog fucking tired too. That'd be nice.
Yeah. Well, yeah, it's nice too because Damien, he's an Irish director, and he also, I believe, wrote at least Oddity, probably Caveat as well, if I had to guess. So yeah, it's just nice to get some really quality stuff coming out, of Ireland, and God bless him, Satan bless him.
All right.
Hail Ireland.
Man, we say that it took until we had to swap out Satan for me to realize how often we say, well, God bless you, son. We're really leaning into our roots here. Bless your heart and God bless you.
I legit, in my class, in my Korean class, people sneeze and I'm working and I just say bless you, and they all think that's just hilarious because nobody else in the world does that shit.
Curse you.
So they
just think it's so entertaining.
Oh, fuck you. That's what you should leave. Just swap that out. Fuck you.
Fuck you, Asayo.
So polite.
We speaking of festival season, we did just drop a new article on our website. Fantasia is happening this week. It's starting this week, and we've got 5 movies picked out on that article that we kind of wanted to highlight. We're excited to watch, and there's a ton of stuff that they're going to be showing at Fantasia. We've got a link to their website on our website at the bottom of that article if you want to just comb through and see what they're showing. It's a ton of bangers, so I'm excited to see
intimidating.
some shit.
Oh, time for Shelby Oaks, boys.
Finally!
Whoa,
we're gonna get
finally. We got to review. We got to review Shelby Oaks, boys. We got to. We got to put it on this. We got to put it on the schedule. Do we know when is this its premiere?
I think it is.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Oh,
get your pitchforks, boys.
There's some good stuff on here. All right. Good. I'm excited.
Yeah, this is I'm excited to see this man.
The first episode you've ever listened to. We're just fucking around, by the way.
Yeah.
So that's up on our website for you to check out if you would like.
Wow.
We also Joe Bob is coming back on this Friday, and he recently made a post about these last 3 episodes. They're like his favorite that he's done in a while. He's super jazzed for him. Don't know what the movies are, but I'm going to be doing a watch party this Friday the 19th. So this Friday is fucking jam-packed. We got so much stuff happening and coming out this Friday. Check it all out. Come hang out with us for the Joe Bob watch party. I'll be dropping links just before showtime on all of our socials. And
That's a lot.
it's intense. Last thing I got here is I'm going to be chilling with Caitlin over on Plug It Up. We're gonna
shit.
We're gonna be talking about
Jealous. Humble brag over there.
I know. I am cool.
Shut the fuck up.
We're going to be talking about a movie called After Midnight. And
Bob, that's your jam.
Yeah, I'm really stoked to talk to Caitlin about it. We found out we both were fans of that movie. I think the last time we were all on Plug It Up together, I think it came up, if I remember correctly. Anyway, yeah.
That sounds right.
Looking forward to talking about that. And that should be dropping next Tuesday, the 23rd. Over on Plug It Up. Check it out. That's all I got. Do you guys have anything you want to plug?
I think that's all my housekeeping.
Yeah, man. Shit's plugged up. Bob, you good?
Squeaky clean.
All right.
This house is clean.
We are going to get into the main event. We're talking about Longlegs, and we're kicking it off with the back of the box.
What's on the back of the box?
Oh, Bob. Gonna pre-order this one?
Yeah, well, it's like the day after this thing came out, you could pre-order it. It was
Really?
it's like immediate. Yeah.
Jesus.
Dude, the media push on this movie was pretty significant.
It was.
Yeah.
And it was also extremely successful. I was checking out the box office receipts today on this. The budget was about 10 million, I think just a little under 10 million, and it made 22.6, I think, the opening weekend.
Holy shit, dude.
Which prior to that, the highest horror movie opening weekend this year was the Night Swim, the cursed swimming pool movie or whatever.
Oh, really?
I thought The Strangers bucked that or something like that.
I think you're right. The Strangers just eked it out. It was like 11.5 million, and The Strangers made like 11.8 or something. Like just barely edged it out. So this like practically doubled that. In addition to that, though, this movie had the highest opening weekend of any horror movie this year, plus any horror movie Neon's put out, plus any movie A24 has ever put out. So like,
is this
any
A24?
movie A24?
No, it's Neon.
Oh, okay. That's what I was. Okay.
Damn, that's pretty fucking good.
I know.
Yeah, that is pretty good.
That marketing worked, man. Like,
Yeah.
Dude, really,
good
yeah.
for them.
And it's easy to see why. Those early teaser trailers, it's like an insta sell for me. But we can talk about it in a minute.
Yeah. So anyway, we're talking about Longlegs. This is a new release. Runtime of 1 hour and 41 minutes. This is definitely rated R. This was written and directed by Oz Perkins, who's Anthony Perkins' son. And it stars Maika Monroe, Nicolas Cage, Blair Underwood, Alicia Witt, some other lovely folks in here. Plot synopsis brought to you by IMDb is as follows. In pursuit of a serial killer, an FBI agent uncovers a series of occult clues that she must solve to end his terrifying killing spree. Gentlemen, would you recommend folks check out Longlegs? Randy, kick us off.
Yeah, I would recommend it. I will argue a little bit that I think that the hype is a bit much around this movie. But I do think it's worthy of watching for sure. So generally speaking, yes. Apparently this affected people in some pretty intense ways, but it's like hearing stories about cops fainting from knowing fentanyl is in their region or something. Like it just seems a little overblown how much press this got for being scary. I don't think it's quite that. So know that going in, at least be prepared for a little disappointment there. But otherwise, I think it's pretty good. It's definitely worth your time.
Cool. Juice, what about you?
Bob, I really just don't know. for the first time in a long time, I really just don't know. I guess at this point, I wouldn't say I feel like it's a strong recommend to get out to theaters to catch it. But I think before the year's out, I would say, yeah, check it out for your top 10 of the year. When you're building that list. But I don't know. I got to talk about it a little bit. Bob, how about you? Would you recommend people check this out?
Yeah, I definitely recommend watching this. To Randy's point, yeah, it was definitely overhyped, which, I think is something that if you listen to our show and you're, watch a lot of horror movies, you're probably kind of used to. Like, we mention somewhat frequently whenever these movies get released at festivals, it's like people were shitting blood in the theater and puking on their grannies' faces and passing out, and like none of that shit happens.
Get over here, Granny. I got some shit to spew.
This movie's too scary, Grandma.
The hype train definitely ran away on this one, but I still think it's a pretty decent movie. It's not giving me precisely what I wanted out of it, but I still think it's decent and worth checking out in the theater. I would say in the theater. The cinematography, one of the best things about this movie, just watching it on a big screen was pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that sounds like 2 recommends and 1 IDK. So take that and do whatever you want to with it. And we are going to be spoiling this movie. Probably, if you haven't seen it, give us a pause. Come back when you have seen it. But here comes your warning.
Spoiler warning.
All right, Bob, you got this plot synopsis?
I do. There's a lot happening here, and I'll
man. I was gonna say this is gonna be a tough one. I think
try and make sense of it all for you guys. So this movie is very preoccupied with music, and we'll get into that. But it starts off with some lyrics on the screen from a band called T-Rex. The song "Get It On" from 1971. It says, "Well, you're slim and you're weak. You've got the teeth of the Hydra upon you. You're dirty, sweet, and you're my girl." That's how we start. And then the movie actually gets rolling. So here we go with the plot.
Ew.
Movie opens up 1970s Oregon, where a little girl with a Polaroid camera is approached by a mysterious man who mentions it's almost her birthday. We jump forward to 1995. The little girl, Lee Harper, has now grown up and is an FBI agent. She exhibits a high level of intuition when she points out a killer's home based on just a gut feeling. She is correct, but her partner gets shot and killed. The FBI administer several tests and confirm she's at least somewhat clairvoyant. She's then assigned to a decades-long case involving several murder-suicides, where the father kills his family and then himself. At each crime scene, there's a note found that's written in code and signed by Longlegs. It's assumed Longlegs forces these men to kill their families, but there's never any evidence of him being at the crime scenes other than the notes he leaves. Lee quickly connects the murders by deducing each family had a 9-year-old girl that was born on the 14th and murdered within 6 days before or after their birthday. When the dates are written out, they form an occult symbol of an upside-down triangle. But one date is missing. Lee then sees a strange figure enter her home and leave a birthday card for her. With clues on the card, she's able to break Longlegs' cipher. Then following a clue, her and her partner uncover a doll in a barn at one of the former crime scenes. There's a metallic ball in its head that causes Harker to see violent images when they interact with it, and the forensic specialist examining the doll also admits he thought he heard his ex-wife's voice coming from it. Harker theorizes each family received a similar doll and that Longlegs is somehow imbuing an evil essence into these orbs. Harker goes to interview the sole Longlegs survivor at a mental institution and finds out Longlegs visited her the day prior. She was catatonic until he arrived. She tells Harker she's willing to do anything he tells her to, even kill herself. While visiting her mother, Harker finds a stack of Polaroids in a room, and among them is a picture of Longlegs himself. He's a strange, pale-faced man who visited her on her birthday back in the 70s. She gives the photo to the FBI. They're able to locate and arrest Longlegs. He asks to speak to Harker in the interrogation room and says he serves the man downstairs. He also says she should question her mother about her involvement with all this, and then says, "Hail, Satan," before bashing his face on the table and killing himself.
It was a
Harker.
marriage to the beast.
Harker and Agent Browning go to question her mother. Harker's mother kills Browning with a shotgun. Harker tells her mother Longlegs is dead, and her mother then shoots a doll resembling Harker in the head, shattering the metal ball inside. We see black smoke come out of it, and Harker falls unconscious. We then get a flashback here. It reveals that in the 70s, Longlegs subdued Harker's mother and gave her a choice. She could either be his accomplice or let her daughter die as part of his ongoing rituals. She complies, causing Harker to be the missing birthday in the pattern. Longlegs has been living in the Harker basement and building dolls and imbuing them with satanic magic of sorts. Harker's mom would dress up like a nun and deliver the dolls to kids on their birthday, saying they won the doll from a church. The presence of the doll would control the dads and force them to kill families, precisely how Longlegs wanted. Harker's doll has been, I guess, sort of controlling her in a way since her childhood. And Harker then wakes up in the basement, present day, and she answers the phone. Someone says she's late for Ruby's birthday. Agent Carter, her partner, has a daughter named Ruby. She's turning 9. Harker realizes her death would then complete the triangle. She goes to the house and finds her mother has already delivered the doll, and Carter's acting strange. He murders his wife in the kitchen, but before he can kill his daughter, Harker shoots him, and Harker's mother herself says, "Hail, Satan," pulls out a giant knife and tries to kill Ruby. Harker then shoots her in the head and kills her as well. She then tries to shoot the doll, but her gun jams. She tells Ruby it's time to go, as we hear Longlegs singing Happy Birthday. We then flash back to the interrogation room and see Longlegs say, "Hail, Satan," one final time as he blows a little kiss at the screen, at the audience, I guess. And then the credits roll backwards. There you go. That's Longlegs.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, the backwards thing. I mean, yes, but I think a lot of movies do it.
Oh, yeah.
Bottom to top to bottom, it swaps.
It's a choice. Anyway, this movie is also a choice in its entirety. There's a lot going on that we can unpack here. Let's start with Cage, I guess. Playing Longlegs. How did you guys feel about Nicolas Cage in this?
Sorry, a little drive by there.
I mostly. Go ahead.
No, you can start.
Well, I would say it didn't vibe with me, and I thought it was a different feeling performance than what else was going on through most of the movie. There were hints of where I kind of was very intrigued, but then there are also times where I literally was laughing out loud just because I thought it was so silly. But mostly, I think where it started to kind of shine, there was one scene where I thought it kind of worked the best, and then another scene where it's kind of worked a little bit. The one scene was when he's driving in the car when he's driving away from that store. Yeah. And that girl says "Dad, the weird guy's back again," or he's driving away from it, and he kind of does a side freak. It's shot from the side. And then when he's detained and he's talking to the detective, and sometimes his voice gets deep, it goes down. I thought that was effective, and maybe there should have been more of that going on. But then also there were still moments. It says something when he's talking about the mop or something. I was just cracking up. I just thought it was so ridiculous, ridiculously, not in a weird way, not in a bad way where I was just laughing at him, but also too not necessarily in a good way for what this movie was. I was I shouldn't be laughing.
It's not trying to make you laugh. It is.
Yeah.
It straddles a line. Performance. Yeah, I could see someone laughing. I like the aesthetics, the prosthetics that they put on his face, and they make him really pale. And all of his clothing is pretty white too, and he has some sort of fixation on these houses. When he approaches them, they're very white. We see at the beginning of the movie in the 70s, the house is covered in snow. So I don't know what sort of obsession he has with the color white, but I like how he looked. I largely liked his performance, but it is riding that line, and at the very end, man, when that last "Hail Satan," winky kissy, I was man, that is a confusing way to end this movie. That's pretty straight ahead horror, or at least is trying to be. I can't really wrap my head around that choice. But up until then, I was pretty much on board with Nick Cage here. I thought he did a pretty good job.
I mean, I'm on the fence. I think I lean more towards Justin's thinking as than I do yours, Bob. Like the thing is, it's not bad, and I like some of the choices made like as choices, but the way it comes off a lot of the time is not scary. And that's the thing, is like this movie was hyped as being so scary. He's so scary, whatever. And like a lot of the times it felt like cartoonish in a way that the rest of the movie isn't. And I don't know. Part of me is like, yeah, of course you can make that work. Like, look at fucking Skarsgård as Pennywise. Like, you may not think that's the scariest movie of all time. I certainly don't. I have problems with it, but I think his performance is really engaging, and he put it like kind of light and up, and he's got the pale face. He's kind of doing a lot of samey things, but I don't think that like I don't know what it was. It just felt like I couldn't get my head around what this dude's deal is, and it felt like, is this just how he is, or is he putting on something to be creepy? It felt a little like, try hard may not be the right word, but it felt a little bit like that. Or
forced, like, yeah.
Like, and like, I don't know. It felt like kind of a little bit like trying too hard to be spooky, using time-tested traditional stuff. Like, and I just didn't really see how much of that really. I didn't see how that stacked up to a scarier performance than any other person doing a similar thing.
I agree. It's not particularly scary, but I was like thinking about this movie and like the obsession with Satan, and I think I have to assume Oz Perkins is just like really intrigued by Satan and the occult and stuff. And like this does have like a very big satanic panic focus, kind of like Maxine did. This is like a sort of an ongoing trend here. We're talking about 2 weeks back to back. And I was like, in this movie, the way Nick Cage talks sometimes is almost like he's singing in a hair metal band. The way he like, he's like almost singing, and it's like, it's out of context. It sounds so fucking weird, but I was like, man, maybe his character was supposed to like be in like the hair metal scene in the 80s, maybe like sang in a band or something. So that was rolled into, the Satanic Panic and the Filthy 15 or whatever, where Dee Snider and that again, like, was in the opening montage of Maxine. Yeah. So I was like, maybe that's the case. And then today, like right before we started recording, I found out at the opening showing of this in LA, they gave out 7-inch red vinyls to everybody that was there. And there's a song on there by a band that, like, I guess the character had at some point, and it's all like written in his cipher, so you have to decode it. And the song is called Hiss, and apparently, like, on the recording, Nick Cage is actually singing as the character. And I tried so hard to find it on the internet to listen to it, and you can't. I couldn't find it anyways, and people are selling the vinyl for like $1 million on eBay, which is kind of frustrating.
It'll be up eventually.
But that did, like, yeah, I'm sure it will. That did kind of confirm at least partially why he is the way he is, and I find that to be pretty interesting, but it's not on the surface at all. I saw somebody somewhere say that his performance was influenced by Tiny Tim, and I could totally see that as well.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I could see that. That makes sense. To me, like, it's like the hair metal thing is the thing that made the most sense about him. I think, like, all the stuff with the Satanic Panic, like, I'm a big mark for that sort of thing, and it's no secret. But like,
Satanic
there's something about the way this movie. Yes, mother would be proud. This is like, I don't know. It feels kind of thin, like, to me. Like just generally speaking, I think the story in this felt thinner than I anticipated. It doesn't feel as informed by like anything besides just like, and then this happens. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of that, and there's a lot of weaving going on. It weaves it all together, sometimes better than others. For the most part, pretty well, I think. Like a lot of different elements in this fucking movie, a lot of them, and they mostly work. They mostly coalesce. But I think it really survives on what it looks like, what it feels like in the moment, and I think that's okay. But it's just, I was expecting, this movie is being compared to like Hereditary and stuff, and those are movies that are like rich with meaning. You know what I mean? Like, so
a lot of occult stuff. So I see that, but yeah, Hereditary feels more focused, like way more tight than this does.
I agree.
I think that's part of my problem with it too, is because I feel kind of frustrated by it, because I thought the setup of this film was really good. When Nick Cage is not in this movie, I think it's better for me. And I think part of my struggle is that it feels like the Nick Cage aspect is more about Nick Cage than it is this film, if that makes sense.
No, I kind of see that too. You can see more Nick Cage than I see Longlegs. Like, I have trouble referring to him as Longlegs. It just doesn't.
I did wonder, like, if they had like a no-name play the same character, it probably would be more terrifying, because you do just kind of see Nick Cage doing a thing, and it's interesting.
Yeah. Or also, too, I wonder if it would be downplayed more, because there were times where I was like, this character, I feel like, shouldn't be getting so much central screen time, because the setup of this was pretty cool, and I like a lot of what they were doing. I love the kind of shots that had a lot of like kind of weird angles and showed just a lot of space, and you have these deep backgrounds. So you have like the character, and the character is like over here, like, and then there's this doorway in the back, and so it like goes deeper, and there's like some shit maybe happening back there. And then you also have this liminal kind of like space, like, but it's like a corner, and there were a lot of cool shots like that. So I love the cinematography setting this stuff up, but also too, there was a lot of good influences that I could see, or maybe a little too much, but you got some Silence of the Lambs going on, a lot of 90s stuff. I got some Seven kind of vibes in there, especially with the color palette that they were using, that yellow, like, kind of look gave me Seven vibes. And the mystery I felt like was really good at the beginning, and now at the end that I know everything's unfolded, I don't feel like that felt like it didn't feel satisfying to me. Yeah. So the whole when they're setting this up about there are all these connected murders and there's this code, so you got a little kind of like Zodiac in there maybe, and then, but we can't find any trace of anybody else being in the thing. And then to come out that it's like, oh, it's this dude, but he makes dolls, but the dolls have something in their head. Yeah. But also the mom was in there. So why wouldn't the mom be picked up when they were doing forensics? They made it seem like it was like a complete mystery. Who would be in the house? And like, she says she's from the church. It's too much. It's too muddy. It didn't feel sad. None of the details that they threw at me felt satisfying or even natural. It didn't feel like a natural conclusion to what the first half of this movie set up.
Yeah, I feel that very much. I wish that they would have kept all of the Satan black magic stuff just in Nick Cage's head, and he thought he was doing all these cool magical stuff, but at the end of the day, he's actually just a crazy serial killer guy, and they're actually trying to hunt him down and like play it more straight, I guess. The more fantastical the movie got, with us like quite literally seeing like Satan in the woods, watching Harker, and the black smoke coming out of these little metal balls, and the doll maker, and like all that stuff, just like the more we got of it, the less I was invested in the story. And I was like, we're going to Goofy Town here. I wish it was a little more.
Yeah.
Going to Goofy Town.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like, yes, but I don't know. Like, I'm conflicted about all that. Like, part of me is like, I respect and like that they kind of went ultimately in a supernatural direction, because I was afraid that they would just make this like Longlegs as just a serial killer sort of thing, because to me this movie ran a real risk of running very tandem with Silence of the Lambs, and it manages to avoid that, not just through that, but like just like on a pure aesthetic visual level, like and like a main player sort of level. It feels very Silence of the Lambs, but I like that they broke free of that. But there are parts that go too far. Like I wish they left it just a little more ambiguous. I'm okay with it being a possibility that this is all real. Like I think that's I'm fine with ambiguity, and this movie kind of puts that to bed, because we as in not the crazy guy, but like our lead character and her mom see that like black smoke, and like the guy like touches the coroner touches the orb and has like horrible thoughts or whatever. And like, I like the idea of a cursed object. I even kind of like the dolls on their own, but like the orb to me is like, just like, do we need a second MacGuffin object in there? Can it just be that like when you look at the doll's eyes, a curse takes over your family or whatever? Like, does it have to be so much? And I don't know. I guess that's what I'm conflicted about. Is it just feels like this movie is spinning a whole lot of plates and it just barely pulls it off. It feels very like stretched in that regard.
I guess at this point, go ahead, sir.
I was just gonna say, but like there are things I like about it, like the audio and things like that, the cinematography, like you guys said. That's all I want to add.
Yeah, for sure. I was just going to say, I don't know if there is a solid explanation for the balls, but maybe there is some sort of like occult history of magical metallic orbs or something that would add some context to this, but without maybe even with it, it just feels very goofy.
It feels kind of hokey.
Yeah.
Well, so actually to the opposite end of that, I'm not in love with the orbs as themselves, but doing a cursed object thing, I think my problem with that is how many dolls do we have? We don't need more dolls. And just the idea of them, I liked how he was like, oh, I call this the brain, and it was inside this hollow part. And it kind of made that sound when he kind of, that was the most like just having another doll was like, oh, Jesus Christ to me. Because it's overplayed at this point, but also too, it was a movie like, yes, I agree, very Silence of the Lambs, but at least it would feel maybe consistent. I don't know, introducing these dolls and having them do something just doesn't feel like the movie to me. I don't know. It feels so disjointed, and
it works for me.
It didn't work. No, yeah, it didn't work for me because like we have so many. It's like kind of oversaturated and overplayed at this point, and it's kind of one of those like things where it's like it just works because we need it to work, or it just does this because we need it to. It doesn't feel fleshed out or rewarding in any kind of way.
The movie does, to be fair to the movie, it does, like the opening scene, our main character is somewhat clairvoyant, and maybe that is because of this doll that was made of her that was never destroyed, or we just don't know. But it does like start out the gate with like some sort of magical notion or something. So like it doesn't like totally blindside you on the third act with it. It is kind of setting it up throughout the whole movie. I think expectations, at least for me, really played against that in the movie. It's just not quite what I was ready for. But even at the end of it, it's just so fucking goofy. Hail Satan.
Of course. I don't know. Like to me, it's like I like. Well, just to go back to the doll for a second. Like I like the doll, and I'll tell you why. There are a lot of a fuck ton of dolls in horror movies. Not most of them are not done that well, and so I think just generally this exists in a movie that treats it properly and gives it a creepy air. But more than that, I think like as a functional object, to give a small child a gift on their birthday that convinces their parents to murder the family, like that's pretty fucking evil. I think that like adds a layer of evil that works for me and makes them sort of creepy in a way that like Chucky's not to me. You know what I mean? Like Chucky is his own thing, and then like Annabelle's her own thing, and Puppet Master's their own thing. This feels like it exists in a tradition of that to some extent, but it feels very distinctive to me from those because it's not that it's there to, it's a doll because that's what you give a little girl on her birthday. And when you give this particular doll to the little girl on her birthday, it causes their whole family to annihilate each other. I think that's pretty fucked. And like the fact that it's being given by her mom or whatever is all okay to me. It just like that to me, like it just was overly telegraphed, the mom thing. But yeah, the doll, like as a device, as a cursed object, I don't have a big problem with it because I think that it functions well within the story of like corrupting innocence and corrupting all that. Like that all makes sense to me. And as far as like her clairvoyance and stuff, yeah, they introduced that early, and I wasn't sure what to make of that. I was like, is this gonna be supernatural or not? And I wish that I still had that question at the end instead of having a solid answer, because at the end of the movie, I think you're right. Like it is that what exists in those things is a part of the demon, part of Satan, if you will. I don't like, they call it Satan, so I think it's just like Satan proper instead of like a demon is done in like, you know,
Mr.
The
Satan.
Conjuring or whatever. Mr. Satan from Dragon Ball Z. No, he like, I don't know, like, so like it has like she has like a back channel through, and so that's probably why she can sense that similarity in this house, and that's what leads her there. Like, so everything kind of gets explained, and the explanation is like fine, but it doesn't ultimately add anything to the spookiness. It might detract.
I like how there's a sort of Michelle remembers kind of aspect to the character of Lee Harker here, bringing in more of like the 80s satanic panic stuff, which has been like, you know, very, very much explored in Late Night with the Devil, and also that Satan Wants You doc that just came out a few months back. And it's interesting that this is like such a consistent through line in like these recent releases here. But Harker has this like traumatizing thing happen to her that is based in the occult when she's a kid, and she just literally can't remember it for the rest of her life, just like the Michelle Remembers novel, What Have You Believe. But as soon as like the doll is destroyed, all those memories come rushing back. So there's like a physical thing that is blocking her from being able to recall those. And I like how the doll operates in that way, that it sort of like plays around with that whole like bullshit occult nonsense that happened back in the 80s. But I still just would prefer to, I think, not have the dolls in this movie at all.
Well, I just don't think that like I just don't think that like the satanic panic stuff in general, parts of it are done. Like, I really like that Nick Cage is a metal fan. I really like that there's a like cursed object and all that stuff. Like, and what you just said about I don't know. Like, I think there's good aspects to it, but I ultimately don't think it says anything about that, and that's what's missing for me.
I think it just says, it doesn't. Like, you remember that satanic panic stuff? Like, what if they were onto something? You know?
Yeah, which honestly, like, I don't know why that bothers me, because I'm a big fan of like The Witch, and I don't know that says much more about witches than this does about satanic panic.
And but actually, I'm okay with that. I'm kind of okay with making it a reality, but I just don't think it's done well. Like, I don't know. The code feels more based in that. You know, I remember even watching that documentary about the guy who talks to the dog, or who talks to the dog, Son of Sam or whatever. And then they were like trying to trade, and they were like, oh, when we go to this sewer over here, there's all these markings and shit like that. Like, that's okay to me. Dolls doesn't scream Satan to me. So like, I guess, I don't know. It doesn't. That's what I'm saying, is I'm okay with it. And even them making it this like hair metal thing, like, that's, if anything, they should have like made a record that spins backwards, or that has some, you know, they deliver some record, or they're playing it in the background or something like
maybe.
That should have been more. Dolls do not make me in any way think of Satan.
I think it can work, but I do think I see your point, because like, to me it's kind of does this thing where it's like The Witch chose hyper fidelity to the source of the inspiration, which is witch lore that existed back in the time that it was depicting, and that's what made it all function really, really nicely. This does not have that level of fidelity to the satanic panic stuff. It just it sort of like works around a few things, does a few things differently. And I think that works really well if you've got a specific reason for doing that, but I don't feel like it necessarily does. I think it's just a way of making it harder to guess what's going to come next, which it doesn't totally succeed at. I don't know about you guys, but I like, Mom was vicious from the fucking jump. I don't know. Like,
yeah, for sure.
It also doesn't really make a lick of sense, because I like her performance. That's the thing with this movie. I'm so frustrated with it.
Performances are good.
When she goes to visit her mom and they have their dialogue and they're talking about the prayers and stuff like that, fantastic. I was even getting like little vibes of Saint Maud and stuff going on in that, but just a great sequence. The acting in this, and even like her boss, I don't know, all the again, the first half of this movie I think is fantastic. And I really, until Nick Cage comes in, do I really start to kind of question the quality of this movie. And yeah, the thing is like, stick the tone of the first part. Like, I know we're talking about, it would be too similar to Silence of the Lambs, but if you go with what you were just saying about fleshing out this time and this paranoia and like the source of those things, it's better to just have a person, not a doll, even if they do have some kind of like special powers or you're psychic or whatever. I don't know. There's this big disconnect for me, and I can't quite put my finger on it, except to know that once Nick Cage comes in, it like drops off significantly for me.
I want to give Maika Monroe some love in this too. She is definitely like sticking the tone of this movie in a way that I think Nick Cage isn't quite doing, but she does so with these like very reserved performance for the most part. You can tell that she's like stuffing down a lot of emotions, whether it's by her choice or, as we find out when the movie wraps, this doll may have some control over her. And like she seems like totally alone in her life. Like the only relationship she has is with her mother, which is extremely strained and barely a relationship at all. She's very tied to her work and invested in that. And when she goes over to meet Agent Carter, her partner's family, like she cannot have an adult conversation with his wife, and she can barely have one with his daughter. But like that, I think that moment when she's speaking to his daughter, you kind of see the most come out of her, like emotionally, and it's still very, very reserved. She's got these like facial expressions that she's working with that are just so minute, but you can tell like how pained she is. I think she does a really great job here. She apparently, I was listening to an interview with her. She went out of her way to be in this movie. She read the script and wanted to audition, and Oz Perkins didn't feel like she was the right fit for the character and just told her no. So she made an audition tape and sent it to him anyways, and then like convinced him to give her the job. I think she did a great job here. I'm glad she's in it.
She did a good job. I mean, you made some good points that kind of counter. Like to me, like I like her performance in the like ultimately, like as a whole. But there were parts where I was just sort of like, it's so subdued as to be like plotting a little bit. Like I'm like a D, not with a T, and it's like I just sort of like. Okay, I agree that like when she's talking to the little girl, that's very emotive and that was good and was like straining to keep something hidden. But it's like we don't know what that is, and so we like part of it is like that's part of the mystery, but also it just doesn't feel. I had a hard time connecting with her a lot of the time because she's so distant, and there's not a whole lot of other there's no other point of view character in this besides maybe Agent Carter, which is her boss / partner or whatever boss, right?
Yeah, I think
Boss.
it's boss.
Yeah. So like, I mean, and like, I think he does a great job. Like he
Me
brings the
too.
heat in a number of ways. I think that like Maika Monroe does a great job, but I think that the people and I think Nick Cage does a serviceable job, an odd job, but it's what you hire Nick Cage for. So it's expected. But I think everybody else in this movie, like, are the ones that really stand out to me, like Blair Underwood as Agent Carter, Alicia Witt as Ruth Harker. Like those are especially those two really stand out. Even I don't know the actress's name, but the Agent Carter's wife, like she does a fucking fabulous job. I don't know. There's a lot of supporting cast that I think kind of take the cake for acting in this movie for me.
Yeah, the only one who I would say the acting was subpar for me, like the actual acting wasn't as good, and this kind of had a problem with me too, but I was already off the rails at this point. But the detective who shows up at the end just to get blown away by the mom,
red
in
shirt.
the car.
Oh yeah,
her acting just from the show, like what she's presenting the Nick Cage tape and stuff, was just not good. And then to know the fact that she was introduced and had this, she's like, oh, I'll drive you and I'll do this. Like they're trying to force in some kind of like, oh, we feel bad for her to get just blown away. That was pretty weak for me. But like I said, at this point in the movie, I was just kind of like detached because Nick Cage, like, it's hard to say. It's a performance. I just don't. I think from my perspective, it feels like once Nick Cage signed on, the director was more excited. It's like featuring Nick Cage. And like the feature kind of like doesn't vibe with the song, but the artist is so big that you're not going to cut the feature. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it feels like Longlegs featuring a Nick Cage performance, you know?
I can understand that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that kind of takes away from the ultimate vision. I really think if somebody else was playing this character, it would have probably serviced the movie better, because there's nothing about the Nick Cage performance that makes me think that made this movie better or iconic. It's really just like there's a Nick Cage long leg performance, and then there's a Nick Cage, and then there's a Longlegs film.
I think his character in this is gonna be iconic because it's so off the wall and weird, whether it totally fits the tone of this movie or not. I think people are going to talk about it for a while, especially because like Nick Cage is just on everybody's radar these days. He's doing so much work. A lot of it's weird. Some of it's a little more steady, but I think I could see people talking about this performance for quite some time.
That's the thing. Oh, sorry, Bob. Go ahead.
I was going to just add that I think if the way this movie starts, where it's like the aspect ratio is different and you only see like, it looks like maybe an 8mm, you know, is what they used to shoot the beginning or something like that, where you only see like Nick Cage's mouth as he's talking. Like if you just kept him sort of obscured, not in full light, you know, slightly out of focus, whatever, I think this performance, even if he didn't change a single thing about it, would have been received better. Probably it's by the sounds of it, probably by all three of us, maybe not across the board for everybody who saw it, but I think that's the way to go. It was actually scary at the beginning, but then when you just get full face Nick Cage for like minutes, like it's just not
the interviews
scary.
And stuff. That's the thing. Like it's a dude in a metal T-shirt, and like you know,
he's like doing
parts of it.
The when his movements, I think, feel goofy too. I don't know. Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I do agree with that. I think that we see too much of Bruce the Shark in this a little bit. And I also think that like, I don't know. I think that like the way that it's portrayed is so, I think he will be somewhat iconic, not the most iconic, but it just feels like, it just doesn't feel like he's reaching the pinnacle of like, he's not a Hannibal Lecter. He's not even quite a Buffalo Bill, in my opinion. And we see a lot of Buffalo Bill, but Buffalo Bill is kind of like hiding in plain sight as being a normal person. And then like, that's what makes him acceptable to be on screen as long as he is. This guy doesn't have the same sort of menace because he's just sort of like constantly doing this fucking like weirdo stuff all the time. And like, and if he's just walking into the store and the girl's like, Dad, the weird guy's back. And it's like, that's funny as fuck to me. It's not scary. It's just kind of funny. It's like, yeah, he's fucking weird. I don't know. I don't even know where I'm kind of rambling, but it just, there's something about it that seems like if they pared it back, if they pulled it back, not necessarily in the performance, but in the way it's shot and the amount of it, it could work better. But I guess they couldn't really do that because they needed to focus on somebody and they couldn't reveal that it was Mom until later in the movie. So like, and the last thing this movie needed was another element. So I guess it's kind of tough to say what they could do instead.
I don't know what the minute count is, and I don't mean to, harp on Signs of the Lambs. This is not that, but Lecter's on screen for something like 8 minutes, 5 minutes, something like that. And I don't know how long Nick Cage was on screen here, but it feels like a lot longer than that. Maybe to the movie's detriment. I didn't like hate what he did, like I'm fine with it.
Me neither,
I got a kick out of it, so I don't mean to rail on it too hard. But I do think we see a bit much of him.
I think that's a good call up. Every shot was his like mouth, down. I don't know. Something about seeing him just walking around in a store and doing his little hand movements, and then him just like standing in the backyard. Like you said at the beginning where he's standing in the backyard, but it's shot in a way where you just kind of see his torso and his mouth, or it does these close in shots. Then it feels more intimidating. But when a mom is just walking up to him and it's like, hey, what the fuck are you doing here? And he's standing in the backyard and he's doing his little hand movements and is singing. I'm just like, I don't know, man. This doesn't feel scary.
I feel like in my brain, I don't know, Juice, I don't think you saw this, but I could be wrong. Red Room, Bob, you remember that?
Yeah.
How they handled the guy on trial in that.
Stuff,
and I don't want to spoil that movie because it's still, hopefully is going to get a good release soon. But the way they handle it as like the character in question, who is like we know to be probably pretty fucking evil, he never like looks at the camera, like he never looks in, he's just kind of like looking down, he's just kind of doing his thing. And then when you finally get him to connect his eyes with the camera, they hit you with this insane scream sound that's like fucking jarring as shit. And I feel like you do something like that where it's like you don't look directly at the sun right away and then just keep looking at it the whole time. You gotta you gotta find some way around it. Look around the edges, and then when you finally get the full impact of it staring you directly in the face, that's when it really lands, and you like slam that fucking button, and you make sure that people remember that.
Ring that bell, Randy. As soon as the movie ended in the theater, this didn't occur to me, but Alice leaned over and she's like, this movie reminded me of Cure so much, they should have done it more like that, where there is some sort of like mysticism, hypnotism, whatever, occult stuff happening in that movie, but it has that grounded kind of straight ahead vibe to it. It kind of blends the two in a way that feels a little more natural than this movie does. But there are similarities there. It's just
I agree.
I thought about Cure too. Yeah. Like at the car scene, I don't know. There was something about Cure where it was like, this influencer, this guy why is he killing these people? Yeah. So House of the Devil, Silence of the Lambs, Cure, Seven, House of the Devil, and Saint Maud.
And House of the Devil.
Yeah.
And then also House of the Devil.
It's pretty hot outside too.
Saint Maud, and then Saint Maud. Those are I think the biggest influences, and maybe that was like part of the problem too. Is where you were saying, it's too much, or like it could lean too much of Silence of the Lambs. At that point, I felt like I was saying too many influences, and that it was the kind of red flag of me being like, I feel like this lacks focus. Because even if I do
think it lacks focus.
Yeah, even if it was, if I came away from this movie saying like, that was like a near close remake of Silence of the Lambs, but with some Cure mysticism thrown in there, I feel like I'd be more okay with that, because at least it would have some like, I don't know. I think there's just too much going on here, and I feel ultimately unsatisfied. I can take elements and say like, this piece is good, but I think as a whole, I think the pieces are better than the whole.
Yeah, go check out our review of Cure, episode 365-ish, somewhere in there, if you want something kind of similar
422.
to this. 422. Thank you, Randy. Nice. On the ball. Check it out. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off there, Randy.
No.
Oh no! I just want to say, like, I don't want to like.
I cut Randy off.
I don't feel entirely as negative as it sounded like you were, Juice, at the end of things. But like, I do think that it lacks some focus. A couple too many elements, and a little bit too much looking directly at something that is supposed to be that's scarier if it's just hinted at or looked at sideways. Those things can improve it. But like, I want to point out some of the like things. I do want to point out some things that are really great about this. And one thing that I haven't really touched on too much is the sound, man. The fucking sound mixing in this fucking rules. And I feel like there's going to be, not just in the sound, but in the cinematography too, just a ton of shit like hidden Satanic Panic style. Like, I feel like this is going to do like the the Haunting on Hill House thing where you like there's just shit hidden in it, little Easter eggy things that you don't even register that are like with sound. It's like hitting in a way where it's like these just like low rumbling dissonant Lynchian tones and shit like that are just like psychologically putting even like just a standard shot of a house in the snow makes it feel dreadful as fuck. Like it does a great job at that stuff. Tone setting is fucking off the charts with this movie. And I think that's what keeps it together for me is that feeling of just something. I feel like something's hiding in plain sight in every shot and every sound and every, like I feel like there's a lot to dig into if you want to get into the weeds of the filmmaking here. And I really like that. That feels rich as fuck here.
I agree totally. Yeah. I think Oz Perkins technically knocked this one out of the park. It looks gorgeous.
It looks really good.
All the flashbacks when the aspect ratio changes, I love that touch.
Yeah.
The way this movie opens it's like flawless. I love the opening of this movie so much. The like you guys said, the wide shots, you just feel like you're being watched, like these beautiful shots. Even like the styling of the house that Harker lives in, it's like this weird cabin with this octagonal shaped like lighting fixture as she walks in, and just like everything
pentagonal.
Yeah. Ooh, I see.
I don't know if that's true, but
it almost feels like not quite going this far, but like a horror version of Wes Anderson. Like it's kind of in that direction, maybe. I don't know. It looks beautiful. It sounds great. I think also the cipher is like a real cipher that they created and they used throughout. If you're watching the behind the scenes, I have the Fangoria where the cover is all about Longlegs, and like the cipher, you can decode it and like figure out what it says and stuff. So like they went as far to like, create a real cipher, and it's on the record that they were handing out at the premiere in LA. You got to like uncode it to figure out what the name of the song and the band and all this stuff. So like there's a lot of thought put into it that I do really appreciate and dig.
Yeah, just even like the cut, like it matches the time. It was funny how they always had the presidents like in the background, so like when it is. Yeah, Bill. There was another time when they were even going back in time for the one girl, and it had I think
Nixon.
Bush on it or something. It wasn't it? Yeah, somebody
there was
else
a Nixon
on there.
At least, one of the families that we saw.
So that was funny. That's how they kind of established time. But yeah, just the kind of look of it. Also, too, I didn't realize. Okay, so this is the same director who did The Black Coat's Daughter. That makes a lot of sense. Because it's got a similar kind of atmosphere. I think the atmosphere works here. But just the old style, the way he was able to capture the look of the old style really reminded me of something like House of the Devil. I don't think I mentioned that yet, but
House of the what now? Let me write this down.
But no, yeah, I think it looks fantastic. There was this one shot that was really impressive to me again in the first half, and this is right where it kind of started to turn when they go back and they're looking at that girl's house that she survived, where the room where they find the doll, the way that the light shines through the windows looks like these pair of long legs. Did you guys notice that?
I did not. No.
And it's centered, talking about Bob, like with the Wes Anderson, but it's like centered and they're in this old style barn. Again, they're using this space. I love how they're using architecture and space here, because you see them, they're like at the bottom of the screen, it's this big barn and there's these two windows that are like, framing everything, and there's this light shine through, and the way that the light kind of like comes through, it looks like these long legs. I was like, this looks so good. And I do think there are things hidden. Like every time they were having some off space, there's always, I think, something in the shadows, right? There's always something
seemed to be,
creeping, or coming out in the shadows. Yeah. So that's, I really liked, like you said, there's probably even more hidden things, and probably would be fun to rewatch, like knowing what the tone of this is and kind of looking for some of those things.
I think so.
But I think it looks really good.
That's the thing, is like I kind of feel like a rewatch of this is going to make me feel stronger towards it, more positively towards it. Not just for that reason, but just like, I don't know, like to some extent, like knowing where characters are coming from is going to help me not get so lost in the weeds of what this movie is trying to do, or not getting hung up so much on what it's trying to get across besides dreadfulness, which I love dreadfulness in my horror movies. I understand that, but like, it's the same thing with Black Coat's Daughter. Like, I like that movie. I think it's kind of like very similar in a lot of themes, honestly. But like, it's, to me, it's like, it just doesn't amount to much. It's a creepy tale that ultimately doesn't leave me feeling anything but like, what a spooky story, which has its place. It's just not what I want out of a movie that makes me feel that much dread. I want there to be meaning behind that dread by the end in some way. Either it's because like, oh wow, this mom got driven fucking insane because of her abusive, fucked up mom, as in Hereditary, you know, like, or oh, this girl, like really any Ari Aster film that you like in the horror realm, it's just like, it's loaded with fucking meaning, you know, or in, like I brought up The Witch, like it's loaded with meaning about like pridefulness and how corruptible somebody is, even if they're trying to be, you know, as chaste as possible in every way. Like, there's something being said, and I just don't feel that here. And to whatever extent I do, it's in bits and pieces that feel fragmented from each other because there's so many elements at play. And I think that's the ultimate thing that drives me against this movie at all. Ultimately, like, I think rewatching it and sort of knowing that stuff, maybe it'll be more revelatory. Maybe I can see more of where things connect. And even if I can't, I just feel like it's a good movie that you can indulge for its dreadfulness.
Okay, I lost my train of thought earlier, and you just reminded me.
Okay.
The fact that the mother turns and becomes this accomplice didn't really make sense to me, because they just explained like he threatened her, but by the end of this film, she's so like ingrained in it, and he's dead. So
they
like
do
the whole
say that if she doesn't keep doing it, like Satan's gonna kill her daughter, and they're gonna burn in hell forever.
All right,
They're gonna burn hell,
all right,
twist in hell forever.
I mean, isn't she gonna burn in hell because she's helping murder? So she thinks Satan's gonna deliver her to heaven.
I mean,
for
say
murder?
that to anybody who worships
She'll
Satan.
have
They're
a
expecting
really-
Satan to make good on a promise that won't happen.
She's gonna have a really nice house of the devil, though, not a shit one. So
she's gonna have a pool of lava, not just a
oh, hail
hose
Satan
of lava.
boys.
Oh my gosh.
I think it's about time to land that plane. We're kind of wrapping up naturally anyways here. Randy, out of 5, why don't you kick us off? How do you feel about Longlegs?
Yeah, I think you're right. I've said most of what I want to say, or that I have ready to say about this movie. I just think that like on the technical level, like it hits a lot. This movie has a lot of things in it that like speak to my personal proclivities with horror. It talks about, it deals with satanic panic shit. It's sort of like a slow burn. It's got some sort of bananas characters in it and some good performances, and it moves at a deliberate pace. Like, there's things about it that I really like, and like the sound and the cinematography and the feeling of being watched that somebody pointed out. Yes, totally. Like, I like all of those things about it. It's right when you get down to the core of it, where it just sort of feels like, oh, this is the core. Oh, okay. I guess I got what I paid for, but it just doesn't. I don't know. It felt like just sort of a long, winding road to get to a very obvious conclusion. I felt like I predicted the ending of this to some extent. Obviously, not all of it, but like I didn't the nuts and bolts of it. But like, I was like, yeah, the mom's definitely in on this somehow. I did like, though, to your point earlier, Justin, that the mom. She succeeds at saving her daughter, right? Like that's what we're told. She destroys the doll. Then she continues. She has to fill that spot, the daughter that Maika Monroe doesn't fill, with somebody else in order to continue saving herself. But she is very clearly not just at that point. She's not just doing it out of duty. I don't think at that point. It seems pretty clear to me that what she's doing by that point is like, this whole process, this whole thing that she's been doing for years and hiding for years, has finally corrupted her truly, and she's just like leaning in. She's like, the only way to salvation for me is to appease this evil god that wants my fealty, and I'm gonna give it. And then over time, it just like chips away. It's like, yeah, this is who I am now. Like I hail Satan for sure. Like big time. Like this is the mom talking.
Yeah.
Big time. Hail Satan. You know what I mean, brother? No, I don't know. Like I like that about it, but it just, for everything I like, there's things that just feel incongruous with what I like in some small way. So I think that it's a little capped, but it has a lot of room to grow, this movie. Like I said, I feel like subsequent watches is going to reveal things that I like, more things that I like. And I think that I've probably experienced the worst of this movie the first time around by just feeling a little bit befuddled by it and a little bit like certainly overhyped. And I tried not to, I knew that was going to be the case going in. There's no way this was not going to be overhyped based on the things people were saying. We've been through that process before, to your point, Bob. So anyway, long story short, I'm going to give this, I think I'm going to give it a 4 flat. I really do like it a lot. It's just that last point is like, rein it in. Give me a core that makes me feel related to this in some way. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
So,
Cool.
I think that's where I land.
4 from Randy. Juice, how do you feel?
Yeah, I feel a little more negative on it, but I do like a lot about it. So just to go back to it, like I love a lot of the cinematography. With really, I like Bob's suggestion of using that more to your advantage to not necessarily change Nick Cage performances, but to like make it fit with the rest of the film better. And I think that he's kind of capable of doing that because he does it at the beginning. Honestly, like the shots at the beginning, like kind of accomplish that. And I think they should have stuck with that. Maybe not throughout the whole thing, but longer. Maybe even like if you're going to stick with that last shot of the film, maybe that should be the one time you actually see Nick Cage in full view or he kisses at the camera or something. Like that's okay.
When he slams his face.
Or maybe that, yeah. But even that close up would have been probably more brutal. Yeah, I like the sound design, like Randy mentioned. I like all the hidden kind of things in it. I definitely like the first half of this movie a lot more than the second half. So I feel like if the first half matched the second half more, then I'd probably be where Randy's at. But I do think that this will be good for a rewatch. I kind of feel like Randy when he was watching Deerskin, where this kind of like tone shift where you're kind of like, whoa, what the fuck is going on? Definitely caught me by surprise. And the fact that I was just naturally laughing through part of it is part of a problem too. I mean, you just shouldn't be laughing at a movie like this, but I was.
I mean, I will say this. Silence of the Lambs, going back to that, well, I mean, I laugh my fucking asshole off at
That's
some
fair.
of the things Buffalo Bill says.
That's fair.
Is she a
That's
great
fair.
big fat person? Is one of the funniest fucking lines I've ever heard in my life.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, that is fair. So yeah, I don't know. And it's not even necessarily that I don't like Nick Cage's performance. It's just that it feels a little weird. Also, too, one thing I kind of wanted to mention since somebody brought it up when Bob was talking about it, and I was like, "Is this an A24 film?" He's like, "No, it's not." It felt kind of like we have A24 at home. It kind of felt a little bit like a cheaper kind of version of A24. It felt like they were really trying to kind of be A24 and didn't really achieve that. And so that was kind of rubbing me in a weird way. But ultimately, I think I'm going to give this a 3.25 with room to grow. I think I could see myself enjoying this film a lot more on another watch. But in my first experience, I was disappointed with the second half for sure. But the performances are really good too. I thought like everybody else, the mom, the boss, I agree with Bob. I thought Maika Monroe did a really good job as well.
Something real quick, like just like to the point of this movie making you laugh or whatever, and like in support of what you're saying, I would say that yes, Silence of the Lambs has those moments, but also like think about Hannibal Lecter telling the mayor of Baltimore, "Love the suit," like, and that's the last thing he says. Like that comes after he is very clearly in complete control of the situation in a very eerie way. I didn't really get a whole lot of feeling that Longlegs was in control, even though he was the whole time. Like that maybe is a missing element to me. He felt like deranged, but not necessarily controlled.
Yeah, he didn't feel competent. Yeah, he felt just crazy wackadoo.
Well, I mean, maybe that's part of what made him less intimidating to me and made made some of his goofiness funnier than it should have been. Because if they're goofy after being fucking terrifying, then it kind of it makes it kind of creepy, still creepy. Like that lingering creepiness is what you get. I don't know.
Out of 5. Yes, how do you feel about Longlegs?
Oh, hey. I like the idea of a serial killer, just to touch on that isn't necessarily overly confident in what he's doing. That could be really interesting if they had like dove into that a little more. But at the end of the day, he's not even a serial killer. He's just creating dolls and making people kill each other. But I do like a lot of stuff that's happening in this movie. I like that there's some sort of like common influence and focus about Satanism, the satanic panic and stuff like that. I like that is imbued in this movie. It's just the thing that is the most interesting about the satanic panic is that it's a moral panic and it's not rooted in reality. And this movie sort of erases that and says, no, this shit's real. And which like could work in a different movie like Hereditary, but it just doesn't quite work for me in this sort of police procedural type setting where I just would prefer to see a straight ahead crazy person serial killer. But you know, that could just be to taste, personal preference. I know a lot of people that have seen this and it totally did work for them and they love all the supernatural doll ball stuff. It's just not what I would prefer to see in this. I do like the acting. You know, we've been through the cinematography and the sound design and all. It's just craft-wise amazing. I love the intro to this movie. The first scene we get before the title card hits. It's like one of my favorite things I've seen all year. I could watch it over and over again. I do look forward to rewatching this and like picking out spooky stuff in the background. Literally seeing like the outline of Satan in the woods is just too much for me, though. Like the wide lingering shots that make you feel like you're being watched is enough. I don't need to like actually see a shadowy Satan figure in the woods. Just let it linger and let my mind go wild. You know, you don't waste your time CGI in a little shape in there or whatever.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you. Maika Monroe killing it here. Nick Cage for the most part killing it. I like the vast majority of his choices. I think it probably would have served the movie better if it was a no name, because it's hard, even underneath all the prosthetics, it's hard not to just see Nick Cage. You know, we're so familiar with him at this point. It's tough to get around that. But yeah, I think we kind of touched on just about everything. I like that he's a metalhead. Hail Satan. I'm going to give this a 3.5, kind of in between y'all. And we'll see. I definitely want to rewatch it, though, and see how it sits, if I feel better about it or worse. I'm not really sure which way it'll go, honestly, but not terrible.
Like I went high now.
It's your score, man. It can be whatever you
Boys, want. Also, too, I forgot to mention another sneaky Christmas movie.
There's a Christmas tree, right? We see a Christmas tree.
Was there one?
I believe.
I'm
watching this on Christmas morning. I can't wait.
And
I got you a gift.
We know somebody who has a birthday on the 14th, so might be a fun little birthday watch, Bob.
Christmas
Longlegs is coming for your asshole.
You can't handle this asshole.
Dude, that birthday song was a little too much.
Yeah. The last shot of this extremely spooky movie, if it could be the end shot of a comedy. It's just like... I don't know, man.
But it doesn't. It's not scary enough for that last shot. I don't know what would be, but like I understand they wanted to leave the lingering impression of their scariest Boogan in the movie.
Satan's everywhere. Bits of Satan are in everybody. You can kill him, but you can't get rid of him. And but it was just too much. Anyway, that's my 3.5 is going to put our aggregate at a 3.6. Let's go ahead and jump into our Rotten Tomatoes segment. See what the critics and users think about Longlegs.
Certified. Dead.
I'm immediately having regrets about my score. I should go. 3.5 seems more accurate.
I wrote it in ink.
It's
on record now. Everyone's going to associate you with that score forever now.
Oh my God.
My opinion is static and never changes once the number
Randy
is
gave
laid out.
Longlegs a 4.
Did you hear what Randy did over at Straight Chilling? What a loser.
Be talking about this 5 years from now.
Guys, I'm gonna literally have trying to go to sleep moments where I'm like, oh, okay, time to go. Oh, fuck, I shouldn't have given it a 4.
4? What was I thinking? You should have gone first.
Oh, God. It used to be that way. Now I'm shooting from the hip like a fucking goober. All right. Here's the Rotten Tomatoes segment in which I'm going to have these gentlemen guess within the best of their abilities what the aggregate positive score is for Longlegs on RottenTomatoes.com. We're going to start, as we do always, with the critics. There are 185 critical reviews available here. Bob, why don't you kick us off? What do you think the aggregate of positive scores are in percentage points for Longlegs?
I feel like... I don't know. This might be a bit of a critical darling because it is so well executed and looks beautiful. There's good performances, and Oz Perkins has sort of a lineage in the biz, which might buy him a little bit of clout or something with some critics that have been around for a while. But also, the hype train has been rolling. There could be a lot of people that are just kind of let down. So I think it'll be high-ish. I'll go with just an 80%.
80%, all right. Juice, where are you coming in on this?
Yeah, I think it's going to be high. I don't know. I think critics are swinging on the Nick Cage nutsack these days.
A lot of room on that sack.
Yeah, which is fine. I mean, for the most part. Which is fine. And then also too, it's got that kind of like, ooh, A24 vibe. Ooh, Nick Cage is in it. Ooh, it's like, I don't know. I think it's got all the elements to make critics go too high on it. I do think it's going to be too high in that aspect. So
I wouldn't know how that feels at all.
Yeah, exactly. So since Bob went, I'll take the boys. 80, Project 86.
All right. Right on. So I'm going to tell you boys right now, one of you is just 1 percentage point away from the correct answer. Damn. And that correct answer is 87%. Soju, you're going to take this one away. It was just a smidge.
The boys. They never let me down.
Except for when they do.
She was gorgeous.
That's right. Congratulations to you on that. 87% from the critics. I'll get to the critics consensus after our audience score. There are 500 plus verified ratings counted here. 500 plus. And we're going to go in reverse order this time. Soju, why don't you see if you can protect your title here? Of those 500 plus ratings, what percentage were positive ratings?
500 plus. That's actually kind of surprising. That's kind of high. I think this is going to be maybe a little bit lower than the critics, but maybe not by too much. So I'll say 77.
77. All right, Bob, what's your counter offer? What are you going with?
I think there's a possibility here that it's quite a bit lower than the critics because of that hype train. I think it probably will affect your normal movie-going audience, and people. It's the scariest movie you've ever fucking seen in your life, and it's definitely not that. No fault to the movie, but the expectations can be a motherfucker. So I'm gonna take the under here with, I think, a generous 70 flat.
70 flat. How generous of you!
I'm a giver.
You're a real giver. In fact, one of you. Sorry, what?
No.
See, sometimes it's the notes you don't play that really count.
That's jazz.
That's jazz, baby. That's just jazz. All right.
It's all about the
So
implication.
One of you, the closer,
Skip to the end.
the closer of the two scores is 7 percentage points away from the correct answer. A little bit of a bigger gap this time.
Whoa, Randy
And
likes a
that
wide
correct,
gap.
Oh, that's what they all say.
Widespread.
So
That matches his widespread.
I'm all about the wide. Give me the wide every time. So yeah, 7 percentage points away. The correct answer for this, the percentage of aggregate positive scores is 63%, meaning that Bob is going to take this one, but not hyper close.
I'm a generous
63% to your 70. Yeah, your generosity is showing.
Speaking of generosity, that's a hell skeet and eat, Bob.
Oh, shit. No, it's a yeet and skeet.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
I'm just.
We're all winners today. That's
illegal, right?
Yeah, it's a felony.
It's a felony.
Yes.
Wow.
Felony.
All right.
Damn.
It's a felony to skeet and yeet. Did you know that? All right.
Not
Critics'
in this
consensus. Nothing's illegal in Florida.
Nothing.
Except for what's in your pants. Anyway, critics' consensus reads as follows. Saturated and disquieting mood while leveraging a nightmarishly gonzo performance by Nicolas Cage, Longlegs is a satanic horror that effectively instills panic. Little lofty for my tastes. That
mostly
consensus.
there. Mostly.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. People, I don't, what's the scary element of this, though? I mean,
It's
the
not super
atmosphere
scary.
is spooky. The atmosphere is spooky, but there's nothing about this that scares me.
I think it's a relatability issue for me. Like, I really don't, the core of this is just like not relatable, I guess. Like the
Into
core
dolls.
conceit. I don't know. Like I can connect with Florence Pugh in Midsommar and understand that story.
Yeah.
I can connect with what's her face in Hereditary, blanking.
Tony.
I can connect with the guy in like the Exorcist 3, fucking what's his dick?
Okay.
You know how I'm talking about.
Killing the references.
Nobody's name.
In the file.
You know that one movie, that lady. I relate to that lady.
I'm that
movie.
lady.
I don't know.
House of the
I'm the
Devil, I
lady.
think it's called.
No, like
Condo of
that's just what's
Satan.
missing is like I'm a little bit related to like Maika Monroe. But she's so disconnected. Do you know what I mean? Like throughout the
Yeah.
movie, that it's hard to
Yeah.
connect with her.
I wanted to mention too, you guys were kind of talking about her performance. I thought she was like supposed to be somewhere like on the spectrum or something. I thought she
That
kind
could
of had
be.
I
like
guess that's possible. Yeah.
that's the vibe I was kind of getting from it.
I could see that, but ultimately it doesn't like that's fine as a choice. It just doesn't like it doesn't help me as a viewer. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It doesn't help me connect. All right. That's it for Rotten Tomatoes, except for, of course, our favorite part, the complete shot in the dark that is reading negative reviews and seeing what they have to say. Seeing if they're any good, seeing if they're funny, whatever. Here's a negative review. Love Cage. Monroe has impressed in the past, but I'm not buying the quantum leap in Oz Perkins' filmmaking. Some are calling this. What? In the case of Longlegs, the hype is the picture. That is...
Eh,
What?
That's kind of funny.
that's
And it's
unfair.
incompetent.
The hype is the picture. I don't...
Quantum leap,
But-
hyper jump. The hype is the movie. He's being funny.
Is he? Mm.
Trying.
I'm not seeing that. Okay. Let's read another one. Let's take another shot in the dark. Last one. In the end, it feels like a slightly curdled amalgam of a lot of other better serial killer movies, turning out to be a sequence of diminishing returns which never delivers on the nightmare initially promised. I don't think that's terribly off the mark.
And actually, in the same way, I was kind of saying, like, it feels like we've got, A24 at home. In the same way, it's kind of like, we've got, Silence of the Lambs at home. It always kind of feels like this weaker, watered down version of something else that kind of did what it's trying to do better. That's how I kind of feel about it.
Needs to work on its core.
It's definitely not a 4 movie is what I'm saying. And anyone who would give it that is really just, I'm calling into question and really should question their choice.
Oh, yeah. They should
late at night.
Yeah. Should lay in bed and wake up in a cold sweat. Oh, God, a 4?
Shit the bed because of it.
Oh, what do people think of me?
Open up a can of whiff-ass!
All right, that's our Rotten Tomatoes segment. Bob, how's that trivia looking?
There's actually, for a brand new release, a shitload of trivia. So let's do it.
All right.
It's totally time for trivia.
I heard this is everyone's favorite segment, so hit us with it, Bob.
Happy to do so. I already mentioned Tiny Tim was allegedly an inspiration for Nick Cage's role in this movie.
Oh!
Turns out Tiny Tim also has a song called My Daddy Longlegs.
Mm.
In the lyrics,
I was wondering about this name, man.
Me too. The lyrics kind of like fit the plot of this movie a little bit. I'll read just a little bit of the lyrics for you here. It goes as follows. Nobody cares, little miss no one lived with her prayers. Never knowing love's tenderness, she longed to feel love's sweet caress. One day true love came her way, and the whole world heard her say, my daddy Longlegs, you've made my life worthwhile. My daddy Longlegs, you've made me now to smile.
Does anyone want to switch seats?
Nice
What
bump.
the fuck, Tiny Tim?
Tiny, what the fuck?
What the fuck, Tiny?
And it sounds the way you would think it sounds. Creepy. It does. So that could have influenced the name of the character, the title of the movie, the performance. I mean, it seems like
that's more plausible than anything else I've heard.
It too much of it makes sense to be coincidence, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I mean, like the only other thing is that he, like at the beginning of the movie, he says something like, "Oh, I've brought my long legs. I got to lean down," or some shit like that.
Wearing my long legs today.
Yeah, and it's like,
what
does that mean?
Yeah.
And then it never comes up again, and that's the name of the fucking movie. Yeah. I don't know. So yeah, I accept that as the truth, the only truth.
There you go.
Nothing but the truth.
Mm-hmm.
The film soundtrack was composed by Zilgi, which is a pseudonym for Elvis Perkins, the brother of director Oz Perkins. And I believe he's scored all of his movies, which is pretty cool. He did a good job. So.
Yeah, he did a great job. The Perkinses, man.
Yeah, they're doing it. There's a, talking about the marketing a little bit here, there's a paid advertisement featuring a cipher published in the Seattle Times on Friday, June 14th, on my birthday, apparently. A reference to the letters the Zodiac Killer mailed to local newspapers in Northern California for publication that directed readers to visit thebirthdaymurders.net, which is an in-universe website detailing a series of murder-suicides throughout the Pacific Northwest, which... all of this just feels so much like the Blair Witch Project, right? It's like what it reminds me of the most, anyways, which really did that movie a lot of favors, obviously.
I love the extra bullshit that they're doing for the marketing. Like, it's so simple. I just pulled this up. It is like the most Web 1.0 website you can possibly imagine.
Nice.
But it's like eerie in that. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's like, I don't know, man. I love it. I love that sort of shit. It's not an ARG. I appreciate that it's not like, I don't know, like overblown and like, oh, you gotta like go through like 12 steps and then eventually you get to a trailer. Like I hate when they go too far with it. Like little things like this, like the phone call thing, the phone number they put on the billboard that had Nick Cage's voice. It's just fun, man. And they're very easy to set up. You just gotta have the gumption to do it.
Yeah, the phone number you call was 458-666-HELL. And then you'd hear Nick Cage say something creepy. Also, apparently, Nick Cage and Oz Perkins made this movie sort of being influenced and also as a tribute to their mothers, which doesn't say a lot of good things about their mothers, I would think.
Oh, boy.
Some sort of like lying, shielding your parents or your kids from the horrific things that you do, or the horrific things you do to like save your kids, or you think you're saving them, but I don't know.
I don't like the look of it.
Man, there's something going on there.
Oh boy.
Longlegs quotes the poem Satan Says by Sharon Olds in his messages. The poem is about a girl locked in a cedar box being told by Satan that he can get her out if she blasphemes against her family. She does so, but Satan then seals her in the box and leaves her there. Cool.
What a dick.
I know. Satan's a dick. Who would have thought?
He's a welcher, man. He welches on deals.
Well, I mean,
Piece of
you know.
shit.
There's also a book featured in this movie called The Golden Bough, A Study in Magic and Religion by J.G. Frazier. It's shown in a bunch of crime scenes and stuff. It's a 12-volume series of anthropological texts on the observations of mythical and religious practices, taboos, and ceremonies from around the world. Maybe there's something about metal balls.
Good Lord.
In one of those.
12 volumes.
It's very thorough, apparently. There's a bunch of T-Rex lyrics referenced in this, and also some lyrics from Tommy James and the Shondells as well. Probably some other bands that I just did not recognize. The nonsense that Nick Cage is saying might have been more often lyrics than not. I'm not sure. Here's the last bit I've got here. A Dakota birthday card in the film reads, "Stood upon the sands of the sea." This is a reference to Revelation 13:1 from the Bible, which reads, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his head the name of blasphemy." So there's definitely like a theme of blasphemy happening.
Well, of course, here come the demons.
Here they come.
Here come the demons. So yeah. There you go there. Oh, also,
Cool.
Maika Monroe, first scene she shot was the big, like, face-to-face with Nick Cage. They, like, hid him away from her. So that was, like, the first time, the scene in this movie was the first time that she actually saw his look.
Yeah, they marketed that heavily.
Yeah.
Like, sure, her heart rate shot up or something like that.
Exactly,
like,
yeah.
Which means they were monitoring her heart? Weird.
So they
okay.
In the interview I listened to it, I guess she had like a lav mic on that was connected to like on-set radios. That might be a common thing. I don't know. We don't make movies, but that was close to her heart, and I guess that picked up her heart rate, and they could hear it like going faster and faster and faster, which is crazy, man. Killing. I
may have spoken too soon on this on the ARG stuff, because looking at this website, I just clicked a link that's just Cypher and downloaded it, and you have to have a password to open it. It's starting to feel a little ARG to me. Too much alternate reality gamey. Whatever.
I've got
optional
the Cypher
stuff, I guess.
decoded, Randy. I can send it to you, and you can go nuts.
Whoa, Bob.
I'm good. I have enough homework.
That's fair. Okay, yeah, that's all the trivia I got. Let's do a quick little Cooter segment.
Straight chillin'. Cooter of the week.
Juice, what is a Cooter, and why do we hunt them?
Oh, Cooter's character type in a straight chillin' exclusive. Cooter has to hit 3 of these 5 points to be considered a Cooter. But we want the Cooter with the most
Really
points.
amping it up.
The 5 points of Cooterdom are sexual deviance, manipulation, smug arrogance, overall looking attire, and overall patheticness. Trying to channel my Nick Cage there. My long leg, trying to get my long legs on.
I'm a strap on my long leg.
Oh, woo-hoo. Boys.
Oh, my long leg.
Damn.
Who's the Cooter this week?
Oh, man.
Long
Probably the little
legs.
girl, right?
Daddy long legs. Our
Yeah.
manipulation, check.
Yeah.
Looking attire, yes.
Looks pretty good.
I think we could give him
Love is not
patheticness.
invisible evidence.
Overall patheticness, yeah. He looks pretty pathetic.
Lack of confidence. I don't think he can get smug arrogance.
I don't know, man. He's pretty. Yeah, he doesn't feel like he's in control, but he definitely feels like he knows more. Like he feels kind of smugly, like Like, I know what's happening, you don't.
Smug arrogance, like with this cipher kind of thing and the letters he's leading and stuff. It's kind of like taunting, right?
Yeah.
Kind of. Yeah. I mean, even the long, what bothered me about the cipher, not to sidetrack, but like, is that it fucking, he just solves it for her. He just gives her the code, like the code to solve it with.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Like that.
No.
That's the end of it. And like,
it doesn't
just
really
tell her what you're doing.
yeah.
Then, like, why do all this? Why she couldn't have solved that part herself
with her clairvoyance?
Yeah,
I wish they would have done something to where she earned that herself.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so yeah, and then was there some sexual deviance going on? Maybe not.
Not that I can recall. I don't think so.
Okay.
Oh, I guess not. It seems like there should be.
Seems like they should have hinted
but
that he was like some pedophile or something, but I guess they really don't.
He just wants to diddle Satan.
he just wants to
Fair
play
enough.
with his child dolls, life-sized
Satan.
children dolls.
Diddle Satan. He's ripped. He's always ripped.
Diddle me Satan doll.
Why are people always making Jesus and Satan like super ripped, muscular sex objects?
I'm gonna look for a guy with a round, muscular butt.
Satan.
My Satan has a tight ass.
My Satan's got a dumper, I'll tell you that.
Pulling a fucking wagon, my Satan is.
Yeah, he could haul a semi with that motherfucker.
Damn. All right.
Oh, hail
well,
Satan.
well, we got
Hails.
Longlegs.
Yeah.
Satan.
So yeah, Longlegs definitely a cooter. At least 3 out of 5, probably 4. 4 out of 5. Is there anybody else though? The mom, I guess.
Mom,
But she's
maybe Satan
manipulated.
himself. I mean,
Yeah, the mom is manipulating, I guess.
Mhm.
But being manipulated though.
Also
like.
being manipulated, yeah.
to start with, yeah. I
Maybe
don't know.
some smug
I don't-
arrogance. I don't know. I don't think she's
I don't
gonna
know.
hit.
Tough to pin it on her.
Yeah.
I think.
She looks pretty normal, I guess.
She's largely controlled by Longlegs, who is controlled by Satan, and Satan is everywhere, I guess. So, like, it's maybe at the core of it, Satan's the real cooter here, by way of Longlegs, in the mom. So,
Wow. Yeah. Bold of you to call out Satan like that.
I know
mean,
he's so
man.
hot, but gotta call him like I see him,
Calm like you see him. All right. Well, there you go. Longlegs himself.
Got him.
Sounds good.
Wonder how
Tiny
many
Tim,
times
put
Nick
him in
Cage
there.
has played Cooter. Probably a lot.
Probably like 45
Dude, he plays everything a
times.
bunch of like he's
Yeah.
as many times as he's played a family man or an action.
We need to
star
let him
or-
know that he has been like that he'll wear that with a
He
like a
probably
badge
would.
of honor.
He probably would, yeah.
I've played 5 straight chillin' categorized cooters in my career.
That don't come easy.
Yeah, he's him and old Elijah. They're gonna have them a cooter off, I guess.
Oh my lord!
I'm here for it.
All right.
Boys, we went a bit long on this one, so let's skip over what we've been watching this week. I don't think we have a lot to talk about anyways, but we do have a few voicemails, so let's jump into our Hotline Screams.
Hotline Scream.
All right there, boys. If you guys are listening and want to call and leave a voicemail, you can do so at 904-638-3231. We got 3 voicemails. The first 2 are from the librarian. They are super, super, super short, so we're going to play them both. Let's hear what she has to say.
Hey guys, hey Straight Chillin' crew, this is the librarian calling. I just wanted to say, I'm about to walk in to see Longlegs. If this movie sucks, I will be ending it all, so stay tuned. Yeah. Bye!
Wow. I want to point out that there's no way that we're going to be able to monetize this on YouTube. We've talked about suicide a lot this episode. Anyway, here we go.
Hey boys, it's the librarian calling again. Great news. Suicide postponed. That shit rocks. I was shaking after the movie, so all in all, a good time. Hail Satan. Bye. Sorry, wait, let me rephrase that. Bye!
That's more like it.
Damn, people are really digging this movie. Damn.
A lot of people do,
I wish I did.
Well, Randy
jealous.
gave it a 4. He loves it most.
Randy definitely got that experience.
I'm on the right
for
side of
sure.
history, so,
Yeah, well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Librarian.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I'm shaking after it. Damn, that's wild. It was not that intense. There's like a thick level of dread happening, but not quite. Didn't get to me quite that hard.
Very hefty, thick layer of dread.
And the beer was just subpar.
I had no beer. This was a 9:25 a.m. showing I went to.
Damn, man. That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. I don't know why. Yeah, they're showing movies at like 9 o'clock in the morning now, which is like, I'm an early riser anyway, so
it's fine. Yeah,
that doesn't bother me, but convenient. Cool. We got one more voicemail. We're gonna hear from ya boy Mikey. Let's hear what he's got to say.
Michael.
Hey boys, it's Mikey. I was just thinking about you guys, and I figured it would be a good opportunity to leave a message or a voicemail for the first time. Just fun little story. Yesterday, I was laying down for my daily nap, and I had a dream. I usually have very vivid dreams. I actually had a dream journal that I write my stuff in, the one that I can actually remember. And this one was pretty funny. The dream started, I was at Bob's house, and we were about to record an episode of Let's Get Physical. And randomly, Randy just barges through the front door, and he's wearing all black, and he's super sweaty. And I know he's on this little weight loss, which I'm very proud of you, brother. You're doing a great job with that. And he's a little buff here, and he's wearing all black, and he has a little ponytail. He grew a little ponytail, and he was just sweaty as shit on a BMX bike. And he just tells us to come outside and let's go work out. And when that happened, I just woke up. I thought the shit was pretty nuts. I thought it was funny. But Randy, I think you need to get a BMX bike, and I think you need to grow a ponytail. Well, that's it. Well, I'm on the way home right now. I just got done watching Longlegs. So, I'm going to go take my daily nap now, too, and maybe I'll have a crazy dream about Soju or Bob. Who knows? But, yeah, love you. Bye.
I think the craziest thing about that message is Boss has a daily nap time.
He does.
A daily nap.
He's a man of leisure. What he didn't say is when he woke up from that dream, he had a massive erection, by the way.
Oh, yeah. Well,
and a huge wet spot on his shorts.
Oh, man.
Wetter than
pulled
Randy.
It on out of him. Yeah, well, apparently, like he's got the sweaty part down pat. That's for sure. Definitely a sweaty motherfucker.
And the ponytail. Remember when Randy had that ponytail?
You remember?
And he was a big BMXer. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, man. I had a ponytail, all cap combo, wearing my all black goth workout outfit.
Sounds like Randy.
I'd BMX in Lycra.
Yeah.
It's
Sounds
great.
like Randy to me.
Nailed it.
That's just me all over. I'm always coming and saying, "Hey, brother, let's go BMXing, bruv."
Boner
time.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, call in next week, Mikey, with a weird dream about one of us again. Just keep it going. Just keep dreaming about us. I know you do. Don't lie.
Can we put in requests for dreams? Is that something that can be done?
Sure. Randy.
All right.
Thanks for calling, brother. Always good to hear from you. Again, if you guys are listening and want to call and leave a voicemail for next week, hit us up at 904-638-3231. You guys have any prompts you'd like to throw out for next week?
Oh, boy.
Next week. What are we talking about next week?
Well, we're talking about a Patreon pick next week. This was chosen by your boy Miles. The movie is The Boxer's Omen from 1983.
I think it's pronounced The Boxer's Omen.
Omen.
Is it? Okay. Boxer's Omen.
Call it. Let us know if you ever had a dream about us. Good, bad, weird, sexual.
Tell me about all your sexual dreams about me.
About
specific.
me. And how disappointing they were.
Yeah.
Specific.
Tell me how disappointed you were when you woke up and realized, man, I'll never.
I'm
really
not
have
with
that.
Soju.
Oh no!
I woke up with an anti-boner. Thanks, straight chilling.
Tell me how many times you watched our behind the scenes and/or documentary before you go to sleep, just so you can get some sex dreams.
Dude, that'd be nuts. But yeah, call in.
That would be concerning.
Call in and let us know.
I'd be flattered.
Let us know.
Yeah, you can flatter your way all the way
shit.
to being a pair of skin luggage or something. That's some creepy
I'm
shit.
the one they're keeping alive.
So
Y'all are the
Jew.
luggage.
Oh, yeah. I was way off. Yeah.
I'm not the luggage. You're the luggage.
No, you're the luggage. You're the luggage.
No. You're the luggage.
No.
I'm the sex toy. You're
with
the
your
luggage.
liberal biblicisms.
I'm the sex slave. I'm in the cage. You're the luggage.
I'm in the cage.
I'm the gimp in this situation.
When you're right, you're right.
They call me Ball Gag Bob, okay?
That's a bump. That's a bump.
Oh, yeah. Call in 904-638-3231. Next week, like I said, The Boxer's Omen. We're talking about that. As far as I know, you can buy this on Blu-ray, but if you want to stream it, the only place you can watch it is for free on YouTube. If you just search The Boxer's Omen, 2 will pop up. I watched it earlier today. The higher resolution, the 1080p, doesn't have English subtitles, but there's another lower res one on there that does have English subs. So you can watch it for free on YouTube in its entirety. I don't even think you can rent it. I think it's on Arrow put a disc out, and I believe it's on Arrow's streaming service. But if you don't have that, I think YouTube's the only way. So be warned.
Oh, man. Very
You
popular.
don't have the Arrow streaming service.
Yeah, which I don't. Can't say I do. Check out The Boxer's Omen. Get ready for next week's show. Until then, find us on all the social media platforms. Just search Straight Chilling Podcast. We'll pop right up. Hang out with us this Friday for the Joe Bob Watch Party, 9 Eastern. I'll post links on all the socials for you to join in on the fun. If you want to join in our daily Slack channel conversations, hit us up on our socials and say so. I'll send you a link so you can join. And that does it this week. Until next time, as always, keep chilling.
Hail Satan! Hail